Well, Mr. Sinclair's found the fountain of youth. He's got his phone there, and he's gone back to be a millennial.
Yep.
What you do?
No.
What do you do, sir?
If I'm a millennial, I don't know shit. Then I guess I should go outside.
Go outside. Not casting aspersions on any of you millennials.
Not one bit.
Not one bit.
I'm a Gen X, man.
You're a Gen Xer?
I'm a Gen Xer. So.
He's a Gen Xer. That's the one we're aspersing.
Yeah.
Casting aspersions on. So, but before we cast aspersions, I just look. That's a good looking shirt that guy's wearing.
Yeah.
First of all, don't write any comments if you hadn't been able to tell already because it didn't say live. Mm-hmm. This one's pre-recorded. We got a little Texas storm brewing south of us, headed our way. About the time we're going to be.
Yeah, we got tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight.
Tornado watch until 8 o'clock.
There's already Gulf-size hail about 20 miles north of here going east.
Golf ball size hail.
Little wind, 80 miles, 60, 70 mile an hour wind.
60, 70.
Nothing major.
A Texas storm. That's
yeah,
all.
Nothing major.
Yeah. Boy, but I've seen some of them folks in California. Whew, they're getting it. Poor folks. If you got any extra money, if you know anyone in California, just send me your extra money and send them a thank you card.
That's right.
I'll send them a thank you card. Yeah. They got it rough. They really do. So anyway, we had our first little pro sports fun match last weekend.
Yep.
What do you think of it, Scott?
It was very good. A lot of people show up. Good competition. Taught some people how to decoy a bit, get their feet wet, and they did real good. And taught about the judging. Mm-hmm. And people got a lot of obedience going too. That was a good thing. And worked with some handlers, and overall it was a real good weekend for everyone included.
Yeah.
Involved.
Yeah. And I was the obedience. I was impressed on a couple of them dogs. Mm-hmm. You know, it was predominantly it was a lot of Western Shepherds in the pack. There were some Dobermans. We were fortunate to have the smallest decoy in the world, doing some hot trot stuff.
She did a little obedience too. I was proud of her.
Yeah, did some obedience and caught some dogs on a sin. And, you know, you ain't lived till you see a 45, 50 pound girl catch a 70 pound Western Shepherd running full speed at her. I mean, that'll make some people call child welfare on me and Scott.
Yeah.
But it was, I think we got 2 new decoys broke in and our agitators trained up. We got Rick Miller from Seattle. He's qualified for the civil agitation exercise, which is not for everybody.
Nope. One wrong move and you got teeth in you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's not easy.
Nope. And you got to be able to read the dogs. So, all in all, I think it was worth repeating. What do you think?
I think so too. It was great. We got something coming up here in May, end of May, 1st of June, depending on how it all stacks up. But
right.
So.
Yeah, we will. I'd say the end of May, 1st of April, April. Yeah, April, May, June. I can get my dates right. Yeah, end of May.
He's ready now, folks. He's ready now.
Yeah. And we've already talked to a couple of our former judges and contestants that are interested. We've had a lot of interest. Mm-hmm. You can watch all the bite work on our Capel K9 Facebook page. And that's something else. We did what do you call it? We did it live. Is that?
Live.
Yeah, we did it live on Facebook. We may do the next trial will be a certification trial. We're going to have all the judges set up. We'll have the agitators and the decoys set up that are all qualified. And it will be for an actual certification. So, everything that we do in the certification, the exercises are scenario based. They're consistent. They all have the same point value. It's a written value. We have a written standard so you can see what our judges are looking at. You can also see the steps that you have to take or that you have to perform for your dog. Now, the way we set it up originally was, when I say scenario based, was we have, like for instance, we have in the patrol division, we have one exercise where you have two bad guys, and one attacks the handler, or one threatens the handler and he sends his dog, which you really wouldn't do in real life. And when the dog takes out the first guy, the second guy comes out of nowhere because he's hiding, and he grabs the guy, and you have to really get your dog out from the first bite, come back and stop the second guy. Now, that's normally how it's done. But since we're all scenario based, we have a written standard, and we have the points, and we have everything we're judging. So if y'all have seen our past podcasts, our score sheet also acts as a training guide. So you'll see, was your dog's bite full? Was the out quick? You can see all that as they judge it. But whoever puts on, say your club decided they want to do a pro sports trial, you can set it up instead of maybe having one guy hidden waiting to attack the guy. We've done a gang type deal, especially that's really big in El Paso, where you have two guys threaten the handler, and one starts running at you. You send your dog to stop him, and the second one comes, and you've got to get your dog off the first guy and hopefully stop the second guy before he gets to you. So there's flexibility as to how you can set everything up, but there's consistency as to the whole general form of it and how it's judged, which is what allows us to call it a certification rather than just a dog sport. Because we do have written scenarios, we do have a written standard, and anyone can get it.
So what you saw last weekend, you won't see it again in the next trial on that part of it. So you can't track it. You can come to every one of them, and there might be different scenarios all the time. But they're all scenarios that are included in the rule books and the standards that we have here. So and there's not only one way of doing it.
Right, exactly. This is not pattern training.
There you go.
But it's unique in that it's not a surprise scenario, because the surprise sports, and I understand they're thinking behind, let's do something no one can prepare for except the home club putting on the trial, of course, because they got to practice it. But I understand they're thinking, and that's great, but you can't gauge the training progress of your dog on all surprise scenarios, because you're doing something different every time. How do you know if you got better or worse or whatever? Mm-hmm. So that's one reason certifications require a written standard going into it. So we'll have this one, it'll have the actual written standard. Anyone who's curious, if you think you want to jump in and try that, we have two divisions. Civilians have the security division. If you want to be, if you're law enforcement, this guy up here in that plaque, he ran his dog Nero in these. Patrol division. You can go in either one you want, and we pay back money. Whatever the entry fees are, 50% goes to the pot. So that's one thing we do a little differently. We'll have trophies and all that other stuff as well, but this is a professional certification system, and pros need to get paid to be called professionals. So I guess that's all I can. Oh, we'll try and go YouTube live on the 20th if y'all all want to be on YouTube. And I didn't realize when we do Facebook Live, there's no way that I know how to switch it over to YouTube. I'll get with Troy, thank you, Troy, saved the day. If you go to Facebook and watch our video, there's two. There's the security section, and then there's the patrol dog division. The first 3 minutes of the patrol, one of them is no sound. Keep going. Our number one technician and savior of all things electronic, Second Wind, was fortunately out here for the trial and saved our bacon again, janked it right out of the fire.
Yep.
So there's 3 minutes of silence, and then it kicks into the actual trial. watch that, see what you think, and let us know if you need any help with the training thing. Remember, this is not a pattern. This is designed to be scenario based, just like if you were training for military SEAL teams. And it's everything that you need to do is available in writing. It won't change the day of the trial. It'll all be the same. All you have to do is email me. You can check our webpage, capelk9.com, and give me a shout. I'll be glad to send you I think they call it PDF.
Mm-hmm. PDF, yep.
Okay. You can go through, print out your own book. You'll have it all right there in front of you. And it's been the same since 1994.
Yep, that and obedience part of it too. We got obedience side, and Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
Can't stress it enough. Tuesday nights we usually come out and practice for certifications with your dogs.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because on the obedience, what we do, you can't scenario the obedience every time. So what we do is we have 5 different patterns. So yes, there is a pattern that we'll use, but we draw that pattern out the night before the trial, make sure that it fits the particular field we're in, because the different fields are different sizes. And so don't think you can memorize the obedience pattern, because there's 5 of them. Again, an attempt to keep it real.
But everything that's inside those patterns is all incorporated in your dog on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get into what it is or what the patterns are, but they're not different.
No.
The pattern is different, but everything we tell them to do is all tied together.
Right.
There's nothing. They're not all different. They're all the same, but they're all different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The pattern is different, but all the
exercise
itself is the same.
Yeah, yeah. You can start out with a figure 8 and then heel, down, and then you can do down, heel, right turn, left turn, figure 8.
But it's all incorporated differently. Like you're saying, for size of the field. But Tuesday nights we practice.
Yeah. If you want to practice, get your obedience up. There's no charge.
Mm-mm.
Come out, 5:30?
Yeah, 5:30 or 6ish, and you can get a feel for what we're doing and what you need to do, and get some tips from the master himself, Mr. Bush Capel here.
Yeah, and speaking of tips, I had a request for James. Hope you're out there. There's a lot of, let's just say, not fact-based things said about especially protection dogs. And I had one gentleman who's been with us, following us for a long, long time, and he's had a Presa Canario, so automatically we know we got a Mastiff, which means it's going to be more socialization required for a longer period of time. And he'd socialized his dog, took him to all the kiddie games and took him to the store and all that, but he went to a kid's or softball, baseball game, whatever, and he walked up behind is it the backstop?
The dugout.
Behind the dugout.
The dugout, yeah.
Okay. And one of the guys that was, one of the adults was there, saw him and his Presa, and he went, oh wow, and he walked up towards him, and his Presa jumped back and rah, rah, rah. And some other people tried to come up and pet him, and the dog wouldn't have any part of it. And he wrote me wondering, what it was. He said that he socialized him, he's taking him to stores, taking him out in public. He doesn't let strangers pet his dog because he wants to make sure that his dog is, you're making a face there, Scott.
Make sure his dog was what? You finish first.
Make sure his dog is going to protect him and not like somebody else.
Well, I'll tell you what right now. People pet my dogs, and when the bullet hits the bone or the time comes, the dog knows what's up. Because him getting pet is a good thing for socialization, but also dogs can read people too.
Yes.
It's something in the way you move. Movement, it's all about movement, right?
Yep.
Someone comes at you fast, the dog don't like it. My dog the same way. You can come pet him, but you move too fast or come into his zone, he'll growl at you. Back up. And sometimes, if you didn't socialize the right way, that growl, that bark is a scared bark. Mm-hmm. It's defense.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. It's not aggressive. People take dogs barking or growling at them when they pull up to be aggressive, but it's half the time it's because they don't know, or they're scared, or they're not used to it.
That's it. That's it. He's not protecting you.
No, yeah.
He's saying, "Get away! I'm scared of you."
But people pet. I used to think that way too. Where I had one Dobie, and it was my first one, and I was like, "This is gonna be no one's petting my dog. He's training all the time. No one's touching my dog. No one's petting him," and I changed my mind on that. But he come out good because of my wife. She go behind my back and take him out, and you can pet him if you want to. So all I do now is I'll take him out and we'll go in public and, "Can I pet your dog?" And I said, "If he lets you, it's up to him. It's not up to me. You can do what you want. I'm fine with it, but it's up to him."
Yep.
So
Yep.
then you get used to people moving faster. It's like a whole different scenario. It's like walking around the block, taking your dog for walks is not socializing your dog,
Right.
right? That's not socializing. I mean, get him into Home Depots, Walmart's a good example. The entrance, just get him out there, even 20 minutes, 30 minutes to start. Then you get him in, a H-E-B. Take my dogs to H-E-B on a Sunday afternoon when it's packed with people. I bring dogs in there. Just walking dogs, through the dogs.
Yeah.
That's building up to that point, but usually walking around the block, which we do almost every night with our dogs. They don't care about nothing.
Right.
They just walk their patterns. They're sniffing. They're being dogs.
Yep.
There's nothing to bother them.
Yep.
And if there is, it's usually the same yapper, the same people who live in the neighborhood. Same people mowing lawns and stuff. It's stuff they get used to real quick.
Yeah. Same old.
They're just sniffing bean dogs, the guards down, having a good time. But then you got to take them where there's people. Like you told me, there's different noises, clankety old carts or forklifts backing up or trucks, loud noises, horns, people talking, kids screaming, big people, small people, different looking people. I mean, it just doing that's socializing.
Yeah, that's real socializing. And think of it from the dog's perspective. Remember, everything that they see the first 7 to 9 months of age, 12 months of a Mastiff, that everything they don't see, you don't know how they're going to react to it. Mm-hmm. And if you have the defensive types, the Mastiffs, they're more likely to be, they feel threatened.
Hold your ground, stay away, yeah.
Yeah, and so you think of it. We look at a dog, oh my God, he's got a mouthful of teeth. But he looks at us and he goes, "Oh my God, look how tall that thing is." Mm-hmm. And that thing walks up to him.
True.
He's 10 months old. He ain't never been touched by nobody but daddy. And now this thing walks right up over him. This is your opportunity with your unsocialized dog to make your first appearance on the 6 o'clock news. Because he's going to bite somebody.
Out of defense. But it'll be transcribed as, there's a person Casario, those are mean dogs, and he bit the dog, but didn't know.
That's it.
But it'll be perceived that the dog was a vicious killer with teeth. Jaws coming at you. Jaws is coming at you.
And that's what you're trying to avoid is Jaws coming at you.
I heard that verbatim, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And, the dog never bit the person, just jumped up and put his paw on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when the police showed up, it was like, the dog was like, I was aside, and the dog pushed me over. It was like the movie. I saw Jaws coming at me, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" And and just to say things get blown out of proportion, and usually 90% of the time, they'll blame the dog.
Yep. But 99% of the time.
Yeah. When all in actuality, it's not the dog's fault at all. But anyway, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, but get him out. If you want to learn about everything there is to know about socializing, a little plug here, don't forget. Remember, this is not a how-to book. This is why they do book.
Why?
This is how dogs think. My opinion only. I'm not saying it works, but I'm saying it has worked for more than a decade or two for more than a couple of dogs.
Yeah,
so that'll be on there, and I guess next week we'll see what we see. Anybody got any suggestions? If you got any questions, send them in.
Please do. We're more than happy to try to answer them and shed light on the subject and hopefully enlighten people and help them out with that.
Yep.
Oh, and we need to do a trivia question next week.
Trivia question next week.
We'll do a trivia question.
What was the one? I had a good one.
You had a good one.
What was it? Did we answer our last ones?
Yep.
We all caught up. Okay. All right, trivia question on the line next week. We'll come up with a good prize. Let's see, that guy on Jeopardy, I looked last night. We need to beat Jeopardy one time. That guy won Jeopardy. I think he made $22,000 last night.
Damn.
We're not going to beat Jeopardy in prices.
No.
But we'll have a humdinger. Stick around next week. We'll throw you a trivia that you won't believe when you hear it, and you'll maybe learn a little something you didn't know about dogs.
That's right.
But until then, don't make no doubt. What do you think, Mr. Sinclair?
I think we had a great weekend. Looking forward to what's coming up. But the whole base fact was it's all about the dogs. Let's keep it that way.
Good night, folks.
Good night.